Hey, hello and welcome to the Whole Loaf. My name is Paul Bertzloff. I am here with Deborah Murray. Deborah is a celebrity food stylist, which means she does all the work. She cooks the food, she makes it look good, and the celebrities take all of the credit for it. And they don't get their hands messy, right?
Like you did last week.
Yeah.
We needed a food salad.
That's right. She has written 17 cookbooks that are out there, and I'm excited to see what she's going to share with us tonight on the Whole Loaf. Now remember, the Whole Loaf is a holistic approach to living well and having strong relationships. And so we're focused not only on eating well, and we're focused on spiritual health, we are focused on emotional and psychological health as well. So it is the Whole Loaf. And so what are you making for us tonight?
Well, Pastor, last week, one of the things that we were motivated by was we were saying we wanted to get kids to eat more vegetables. I want to get adults to eat more vegetables. And I'm one of those people that love vegetables. My grandmother was an excellent cook. So tonight we're going to make the classic baked ziti, only instead of using macaroni in baked ziti, we are going to use cauliflower florets. Now the reason that I want to do cauliflower florets is cauliflower is very mild. It doesn't have an enormous taste, and by steaming it, it'll take on the same texture as pasta, only we're adding fiber, we're adding potassium, we're adding choline, we're adding antioxidants, we're adding fiber, all these things that are good for us, and no one needs to know.
Yeah, so is this a head of cauliflower or a floret of cauliflower?
That is the head. The little pieces that we cut off from it are called the florets.
The florets, okay. So what did the cauliflower bank robber say to the broccoli getaway driver? Floret. I know. I looked up a couple of cauliflower jokes online today. You would not believe how many inappropriate cauliflower jokes there are out there. There's only a couple of kind of funny ones out there. But anyway, go ahead.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
Well, no, I've been going to, Pastor has been my spiritual guidance for, like Navarre told me, not 20 years, it's like 15 years, she said. But you are amazing in church. You have great relationships with your what do we call us? The
members,
yes. And you were there for me through some really, really tough times, and I adore him. But I will tell you, it's not just about eating. We need to be fed spiritually, and that's what this man's been doing for me. So let me tell you where we're at, and then I want you to start talking about bringing our folks to spiritual feeding. Okay. Because what I'm doing right now is I'm steaming cauliflower. The reason I'm steaming cauliflower versus boiling it or microwaving it is it's going to retain the nutrients, but it's going to stay firm. If you buy frozen cauliflower, Pastor, it does get mushy. There's a lot of water in vegetables, and that's what's good for us, versus wheat doesn't have the water in it. We boil it to give it water, but wheat doesn't have any flavor either. So what you're going to do over here, Pastor, is you're going to start making the sauce. So I'm going to increase the heat on our induction burner. It's kind of nice with the induction burner, you can face your guests, and you're cooking with magnets, so it's not challenging. In here, we've got some olive oil, we've got a medium onion diced, 4 cloves of garlic minced, and you're going to just sweat that. What we want to do is we don't want to burn it. When you burn or brown your garlic, it'll give a bitter taste to the sauce and you can't get rid of it. So this is one of those areas that you can take a little bit of time with. So feel free to get started.
All right, so we're going to sweat this. So I love minced, you call it minced garlic instead of the stuff that you purchase and that's already minced. Yeah, it's much more cooked. We cook with a lot of garlic in my house, to demonstrate.
And it's so good for you. Do you know that it's actually a natural antibiotic? And a lot of people don't like garlic because they feel it's one of those things you don't know how to cook garlic. And if you don't know how to cook garlic, what's the best way to make garlic? Roast it. Put it in aluminum foil. Take your head, put a little olive oil in it, and slowly bake it in the oven. And then you can squish it into the sauce. Because the only reason you wouldn't like garlic is either A, you had it raw and it was just too harsh, or B, you had it burnt and bitter in the sauce. Otherwise, most good cooks, you don't even know the garlic's in there.
Yeah, oh really? Very good. What I love about cooking with Deb is that, once again, we just did this for the very first time last week, right?
Right.
And it really truly is. I am having a very good time doing this. And one of the things I find that is really interesting is just the moments that we get to share together.
Right.
Okay, and they can be a profound momentary experience. Like if you're cooking with a child, or if you're cooking with a spouse, or someone that that you're in a relationship with, this can be a profound momentary experience. And what that means is everybody needs to feel loved, right? Everyone wants to feel accepted. Everyone wants to feel loved. And one of the ways that we feel love is by being connected with other people. And that connection brings a positive emotional sense to it, right? And so those, what seems to be like a minor moment, you might not think anything big about it, but for the person that you're with, it can be extremely powerful.
Oh, sure.
Because, we all thrive in connectedness. We all thrive in relationship. And we all want to be loved. And love is one of those powerful concepts, I guess you could say, that's taught all throughout the Bible. I mean, all throughout the scripture, it talks about love. It's kind of interesting because St. Paul writes in Ephesians chapter 4, live a life worthy of the calling you have received. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. So we're called to bear with each other in love. What are you doing? You're gonna spice us up a little bit, huh?
I'm just teasing you. I love what you're saying here. And one thing I was thinking about, Paul, is the smells that we're smelling is also going to take those moments that we're feeling right now and lock them deeper in our brain.
There's all kinds of triggers out there that can remind you of those experiences, of those moments in life, those profound moments in life. So, again, Paul tells us in, I think it was Galatians, he says the only thing that counts is faith expressing itself through love. And so what I love about that, is what matters to God is not your accomplishments. What matters to God is not your achievements or your fame or your wealth. I mean, if you ever looked at that, there's that famous love chapter out there in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, where Paul, who wrote 1 Corinthians, just really stresses the point. He does it like 5 different times. And basically in 1 Corinthians 13, he says, you can have the eloquence of an orator. You can have the knowledge of a genius, the faith of a miracle worker, the generosity of this great philanthropist. You can have the achievements of a superstar. But if you don't have love, they all mean absolutely nothing.
And how true is that?
Yep.
And how many of those really famous superstars have actually ended their lives that they had nothing at the very end of it, Not only not having the love, but they didn't have any of those things. So things come and things go, but love and experiences stay with you forever.
Yeah.
All right, we're ready for the ground turkey. Are you ready?
I am.
All right, so the reason we're using ground turkey tonight, Paul, is when you go to the grocery store right now, and again, they might watch this at a later time, but I found ground beef was $7 a pound this week.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, let's lighten it up. Using ground turkey has a lot less calories, it has more protein, and today it was half the price, so that sounds good to me. So go ahead and add that into your sweated onions and garlic. Very good, perfect technique, you know how to cook. Suzanne, you've done a very good job with him. But you're breaking up the ground beef. I'm going to add in a little seasoning now. Like a good relationship, it's all about building a strong foundation. And if you season as you go along, your flavors will have more, it'll retain. If you wait to the very end to season, you know that you will never be able to get the flavors that you need.
Oh, really?
Build as you go along. Yes. Just like a good relationship.
You got to build that good foundation, right? That good relationship. Powerful. It's I love it was in Matthew. Actually, it's in Matthew and Luke. When someone asked Jesus, what is the greatest commandment? And remember what Jesus said? He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. And Paul wrote Romans 13, verse 10, that love is fulfillment of the law. And so, love is powerful.
It is.
Right? And we all want to be loved. We all need to be loved.
And what do they say? Love goes through the stomach, right? So that's how I've always related to people, is cooking for them. Because maybe I'm not a little awkward with my words. I'm not as eloquent at speaking as you are. But when you show up with a loaf of bread with someone, or if you show up with a casserole for someone, those are ways of saying in your own silence, like, I love you. I love you very much,
It's like, I shared with you last week, if you watched it, that love is a command. Love is not just this ooey gooey emotional feeling. I mean, Jesus commanded us, love one another as I have loved you. In other words, love each other sacrificially. And love is also a choice.
Right.
It's not, I always hear people say, oh, I fell out of love, or I fell, it's like you're falling off a bike. No. Love is a choice. Once again, Paul tells us in Corinthians, follow the way of love. It's not this uncontrollable kind of thing. It's a choice.
It's work.
And it is work.
It is
yes,
work.
we choose to
For
love.
sure. I think it's easier to be hateful.
Yeah, no, it is. You're right.
I really do. I think that to overlook somebody, I think one of the things too I love from the Bible is when you don't know where it is. I don't. But when it says anyone can love someone who's nice to them,
Oh,
and
yeah.
to love your enemies and to pray for them. Those are very powerful words, and those are things that I struggle with sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's love overlooking that.
It's more natural for us because of our sinful condition to be hateful, isn't it? Yeah.
Right.
You know, we said last week too, like love is a conduct. Love is a
Right.
verb. Love is something that you do. You know, it's an action. Once again, the scripture says, "Dear children, let us not love with words or tongue, but in action and in truth." And if you think about it, every day we have opportunity to love. But I think we become so distracted by all the busyness of life that we
Right.
just simply don't do it. We just don't do it.
I know, and it could be just as simple as just calling someone and telling them you care about them.
Yeah.
You know, cooking with them, sitting and playing cards with them. I mean, how many times have you missed an opportunity to show love because you made yourself
Yeah.
busy with something
Yeah.
else? And I think technology helps us
Yeah.
do that sometimes.
And you
don't
know what? I mean, you just had a very powerful statement there because those profound momentary experiences, can be just mundane acts. Like
Right.
picking up a telephone and calling someone. Especially in our world today where so many people are isolated. Just to call them and check in on them to see how they're doing and to let them know that you're thinking about them.
Exactly. And I think, I forget sometimes because I have such a huge family and I have my church family. There's a lot of my friends on Facebook, but they're all by themselves. I mean, they connect through Facebook. And so if you're watching right now, hi, we love you. He's a great pastor. You should follow him. He's excellent. But sorry to take off on a sideline, but I forget it. Sometimes I live with my mom. I'm always around family in the bar, church family, friends and family. And I'm very blessed that I have a lot of that. But again, I work hard at that too. Don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah, I do.
There's a lot of work in there.
It is. It's a commitment. I mean, it's a commitment to do it, isn't it? So what are we doing here?
All right, so as you're almost done with your sauce, which is looking and smelling amazing, you can see he's broke up all the ground turkey. And again, don't be afraid of the ground turkey. It's got the garlic flavor, the onions. We added salt, some pepper, some oregano, some basil. In this bowl, Pastor, I have ricotta, which we should do a video on making ricotta sometime, Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, and egg. And what I'm gonna do while you're working on your sauce a little more is I'm going to add in the cauliflower. I'm gonna stir it and then cover the cauliflower in the egg and cheese mixture. So we're gonna actually bury it into our casserole. You won't even know there's cauliflower in there.
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds good? Excuse me.
So, I had my doubts last week about those French fries not French fries.
The zucchini fries.
The zucchini fries. I'm telling you, they were excellent. They were excellent. So I'm looking forward to see what this tastes like as well.
Well, the fun part is you won't know there's vegetables in there. Like I know so many people that love the cauliflower, the zucchini fries. Again, it's one of those things you're just silently putting it in there. You're doing something that's good for your body. And when you're good to your body, I think the mind works better. I don't know about you, Pastor, but I know those days that when I don't do right, when I eat the garbage, I start acting like garbage. I find it's harder to be loving. I feel like when I take nutrition seriously and I treat my body like the temple that Paul says it is, I feel like I make better decisions.
Yeah, very good.
All right, so there my cauliflower is completely covered with the egg and cheese.
Ooh, very good.
Are you ready for your tomatoes? I believe so.
I believe I am.
All right.
So, what do you get if you cross a dog with a daisy? Go ahead, you got it.
No, did I?
Cauliflower! So I told you, all the jokes I found online were extremely bad.
That is awesome.
Right, delicious.
All right, so what we did was we added the San Manzaro diced tomatoes with basil, and we were adding in the I use crushed tomatoes because I love them. Obviously, you could use bottled sauce, but remember, a lot of bottled sauces are just filled with sugar. Start to be a label reader. I think that's really important. That's another reason to cook, is we can control, if I'm gonna have sugar, Paul, I want it in my ice cream.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
If I'm gonna do it,
I don't want you to slide it in there.
On chocolate ice cream, that's exactly it.
Exactly. So you're really good. I'm going to go ahead and get our casserole dish.
Okay, very good.
Assembly.
So we're going to assemble all this into a casserole dish.
All right, so here's a regular baking dish. We're going to start, Pastor, with your, you have the ladle, don't you? Or I have the ladle, sorry.
There we
You're
go.
going to ladle the sauce into the bottom of the casserole.
Into the bottom of the casserole.
Yep, I'm going to turn this off. And we've preheated the oven to 375 degrees. We're going to put this on a baking sheet so that if we do have any overflow, which we probably will, that's plenty right there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna top this with our cauliflower mixture. We're gonna do it in layers like you do lasagna. Baked ziti is very similar to lasagna in the fact that it has all the same ingredients, but instead of the flat noodles, you put the ziti pasta. And so it's a little easier to eat, a little easier to make. But what we're doing tonight with the cauliflower, I guarantee you no one's even gonna know it's in there. No one's gonna know they're doing something good for themselves. Go ahead and cover us with more sauce. And we're gonna retain enough sauce that we can do another layer on top. So that's it, just a little more there. You're doing a great job. You're an awesome sous chef.
There we go.
Amazing pastor and an awesome sous chef.
And chef.
I love
We're known for eating over at our Savior. So.
I know. I always loved your Oktoberfest. We always have the pastor appreciation.
It's going to look a little different this year, but...
But everything's a little different right now. But I love it that you and Suzanne cook together. I believe that, you know, my philosophy's always been families that cook together are families that stay together, you know? All right, so we have that. You're gonna top it with the sauce. And the final piece is going to be, we're gonna top it with a little more mozzarella. Very good. You portioned that out perfectly. And then we're gonna bake it in the 375 oven for 25 minutes. I always like to let any casserole rest for at least 10 or 15 minutes after that, just so that it absorbs, all the flavors kind of meld together before you start serving it. Otherwise, sometimes you'll notice it'll start being watery and falling apart, but that's all there is to it.
All right, this looks absolutely delicious.
Well, I'm gonna
absolutely delicious. Okay, very good. I'll get that for you.
Oops, we're gonna put it on our baking sheet just to make sure we don't have any overflow. Perfect. There you go.
Slide it into the oven at 350.
And then, because of the magic of the television, I have a done one for you here. So let me go ahead. I need another fork.
I got another fork right here. I do.
All right, so show all of our folks what you
exactly
think.
What it looks like.
And
this
again,
looks delicious.
It looks delicious. And again, no pasta. It's got about 80% less calories.
Does it really?
80% less calories. It has more nutrition, more fiber. Remember, the turkey even took down fat calories. Yep. What do you think?
It is excellent. I mean, it really truly is. This is excellent. I wouldn't tell you if it wasn't. Okay, I mean, I would tell you if it wasn't. Okay, but no, this is really truly, it is excellent. So you're going to be pleasantly surprised. The ingredients and the recipe for this, we do have it online, and you can check that out as well. You know, as we close here this evening, I just want to challenge you to do a couple of things. I want to challenge you to start your day with a reminder to love.
Oh.
You know, I mean, I think we get up and, you know, you can turn on the news right away and you get moving and, you know, work, school, whatever it is, that we just forget. So start your day with a reminder to love. You know what, it's also, research tells us that people who have an attitude of gratitude, people who are thankful, and they have that gratitude, one, they're happier, right? But they're also more loving as well. And they're more apt to reach out to someone in love. And remember, just those simple things that you can do can make a big impact in someone's life. You know, just come up to somebody and whether it's putting an arm around them and hugging them, giving a compliment, just sharing time with them and just spending time, you know, talking or cooking or in some other kind of activity. And so I want to challenge you, practice acting in unselfish, loving ways. You know, it's kind of like learning to drive a car. You know, when you first learned how to drive a car, you weren't all too good at it, were you? Yeah, but just a little bit of practice and all of a sudden you're an expert. And the same thing is true with this. So follow the way of love and live it. Live love. Love Jesus, love people, and serve the world. This is great. I'm loving this. Plus, I get to eat a good dinner tonight as well. So fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. If you have any anything you want to learn or any recipes or what am I trying to say here?
Just put on the bottom what you want to see next. What do you want to learn next? Maybe you want to learn about Brussels sprouts.
Ooh, Brussels sprouts. Yeah, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. All right, you have a great night. God bless and live love.